I want to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim out there pushing this truth in all sincerity, right, in all honesty. Peace and blessings also to the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children, the rest of the elected men, women, and children, who make up the rest of the 1/3, whom the Lord has chosen to have mercy upon in these last days. Now, this lesson is going to be based on, the news surrounding the Canadian migrant worker program, which Jamaica participates in very heavily, and the news that's coming out pretty much revealing that pretty much the workers are being treated as modern day slaves, and particularly focusing on the response of our own our own agricultural ministry and our liaisons with their Canadian office, right? So we're going to bring out a few articles, we're not going to read all of them, but just bring out the most important points from them. We're going to go in chronological order as best as possible. So this first article here dates back all the way to 2016, and it was updated a year later in 2017. All right, so even though this thing is making the rounds in the news right now, because a farm worker died, another one was airlifted, from Canada being gravely ill. I believe he had cancer, and, there are a lot of other social media posts that are coming out, farm workers are making videos of the living conditions that they have, and posting them on social media. So these things are being revealed, and the ministry, have been pretty much disgusting in their response here. But let's just get into it. All right, so we're going to start here with this one, posted in CBC News. So it says, migrant worker program called worse than slavery after injured participants sent home without treatment. All right, so it says, cousin of Jamaican man who died from workplace injury says when workers get ill, they just dispose of them. All right, so this, like I said, this is back from 2016. All right, it says, the family of a migrant farm worker who died several months after a severe head injury says the program that brought him to Canada stripped him of his labor rights after he was hurt and then tried to cut off his access to health care. Sheldon Mackenzie, 39, suffered the injury at work, and his family say they were forced to intervene to keep him from being shipped back to Jamaica without getting medical care he required. His cousin, Marcia Barrett, who lives in Winnipeg, says more needs to be done to protect the rights of migrant workers who come to work under the Seasonal Agricultural Worker Program that provides temporary foreign labor to Canadian farms. It says hundreds of workers have been sent home from Canada in similar circumstances, a practice known as medical repatriation. It's worse than slavery. They dispose of them, Bart told Go Public. It said for 12 years, Mackenzie went back and forth from Jamaica, spending months in Canada doing manual labor on farms. The money he made was sent back home to his wife and daughters. In late 2014, he started working on a tomato farm near Leamington, Ontario. It would be his last job. In January 2015, Bart got a call saying her cousin had hit his head and was in a coma in the hospital. Right? Bart said right away there was pressure from Mackenzie's liaison officer to have him return to Jamaica. No longer able to work, he lost his work visa and no longer qualified for health care coverage. Right? She hired lawyers to try to get him a humanitarian visa so he could continue getting medical care in Canada. She succeeded in getting a temporary stay, but Mackenzie died before a decision was made on the humanitarian visa. All right, so this is the first example, and this was from way back in 2016. This article was written, but the incident happened in 2015. Right? Let's jump forward a bit. So this is from January 1st, 2022, so the beginning of this year, right? Report details government's failure to protect Caribbean farm workers during the pandemic, right? It says early in December, Canada's Office of the Auditor General saw an official government report released its report into the conditions that migrant agricultural workers face during this pandemic. The report was nothing short of jaw-dropping, validating what migrant farm workers from the Caribbean have been saying right from the start of the pandemic. The OAG details the colossal failure of Canada to protect migrant workers and raised red flags that 77% of inspections they conducted in 2020 rose significantly to 88% in 2021. The Auditor General's comment that Canada's inspections provided little assurance that employers complied with the requirements to protect temporary foreign workers during quarantine. Additionally, the report expressed concerns when conducting inspections of compliance with regularly mandated requirements, such as verifying basic living conditions like running water, occupancy level, and whether a worker's house was free from serious health and safety risks. Right? That Canada collected no information in almost all cases but found employees compliant. These basic living conditions took on even greater importance in the context of social distancing and disinfection protocols. So showing you that even basic living conditions, even though this article is specifically speaking about protecting them, during the pandemic and quarantine, they're saying that basic living conditions, right, were not even there, like running water, occupancy level, and all these different things, right? And this is back in January. This is an official government report, right? A month later, in February, right, this is what our labor minister said. Carl Samuda, which is the Minister of Labor here in Jamaica, Samuda eyes doubling farm workers to Canada. So after this report comes out a month earlier, he's thinking about doubling the amount of workers to send to Canada. After reports come out that they don't have basic living conditions, he wants to double the amount of workers. Why? I mean, you can take a wild guess, but it has something to do with those money, those dollars, right? Right. So liaison officers and other support personnel have urged to target other agricultural subsectors beyond the harvesting of orchard and vineyard crops to open up uncharted labor opportunities for Jamaican farm workers. The charge comes amid commendation from the Canadian government authorities, who have praised the locals for buttressing the North Americans' food supply. Let me look up that word. First, I'm seeing that word, not translate. I'm gonna look it up. All right, so it says to prop or to safeguard. Right? So it says a structure or stone or brick against a wall to strengthen or support it. So pretty much they're saying that the locals, the Jamaican farm workers, are pretty much a strong support for the North American food supply, right? Which depend the North American country's food supply, which depends heavily on seasonal migrant workers. Tapping jobs in the Caribbean provinces, tapping jobs in the Canadian provinces of Alberta and Saskatchewan, which fall within the wheat belt, could double the average of 9,000 Jamaicans who make the trip annually. The upshot of that development would offer the chance for many rural labor-intensive workers, right, to earn multiple time wages they collect domestically and soothe traditional agitation that too few workers, right? So he's saying this. There is nobody from Jamaica going to these farms, and I ask the question, why? What about the extent to which our liaison officers concentrate on that market? I know there's competition from other markets, but that competition cannot outdo the skills, commitment, and hard-working nature of the Jamaican worker. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like those auction blocks, back in slavery, when they used to give these descriptions of the slaves to have buyers be enticed. He's a strong, hard worker. This man is a strong, hard worker. He work in the field from morning till night. That's how he's pretty much selling, our people to the Canadian people and say, hey, we have the most hard working workers. Get Jamaican farm workers. Nothing can compare to the commitment, the skill, and the hard-working nature of the Jamaican worker. Yeah, right. So he wants to double the amount. Right. So this was February 2022. So let's jump forward now. Let's jump forward now, right, to what's been happening, recently, right. So they're There are two things, right? So the videos are coming out, and also a Jamaican worker was airlifted, being gravely ill, So these things are now causing a stir once more. So this is August 23rd, 2022, and this is from the HR reporter, the Canadian HR reporter, right? And it says, is there systemic slavery in Canada? Advocacy group says migrant workers turned into machines rather than being treated like people. An advocate is calling for a revamp of the system that governs migrant workers' employment in Canada. As it currently stands, the seasonal agricultural workers program is systemic slavery, says Saeed Usan, executive director at Migrant Workers Alliance for Change. Hussan made the statements in an open letter to Jamaica's Ministry of Labour, where he called for better conditions for these workers. Focusing on the accommodations, he says that most migrant farm workers are living in employer-controlled houses, which is basically stables or warehouses where people are living in bunk beds, climbing on top of each other to sleep, even in COVID. Doesn't this sound just like slavery? That's exactly how they used to house the slaves, yo. The workers don't have privacy, have community, have friends visit, have their families live with them. This housing is about warehousing people, and in this way, humans are being undignified and turned into machines rather than being treated like complete people. During the early months of the C-19 pandemic, right, some 25% of the total death count because of C-19 were attributed to immigrants, right? Also, migrant workers who came to Ontario from other countries are at higher risk of contracting it and other diseases. This was due to the communal living and working conditions, right? A week after the letter was sent, a Jamaican farm worker, 57-year-old Garvin Yap, which was another incident, was fatally injured while operating farm equipment. We do not know if his family will receive any compensation, right? Hussan adds that humans are being treated like machines, referring to farm workers, right? So that's the two incidents that happened. One was the gravely ill one that was airlifted to Jamaica, right? And the other one was, that fatal injury that happened on the farm, right? So now we're going to jump a little bit forward, right? I believe this is the next one in the, yep. So this is now the official response from the Jamaican Labour Ministry, right? This is from Occupy Canadian Occupational Safety website, right? So this was posted on the 1st of September. Jamaican minister denies Canadian farm workers' claim on living conditions. We observed no evidence of mistreatment. A Jamaican official has rejected claims made by farm workers, and it's not just farm workers. There's an official government report back in 2022, and you have this alliance, which you just read about, which what's his name again? Is a leader of the advocacy group, right? So, while working conditions varied at different farms, Casamuda, Jamaica's Labour Minister, along with his team, observed very good relations between workers and their employers. We observed no evidence of mistreatment. Workers have good relations with Jamaican liaison officers based in Canada to safeguard their interests. Samuda's observation came after he and his team visited 9 farms between August 14 and 16. I bet you they visited the most pristine farms, and then the farm owners put on a show for them, right? Or they were just straight up paid off, or just both, right? It says previous to Saeed Hussein, executive director of Migrant Alliance Workers for Change, right, called for a revamp, saying that humans are being turned into machines rather than being treated like complete people. As it currently stands, the seasonal agricultural workers program is systemic slavery, which we just read about. The call came after, on August 14, 57-year-old Jamaican farm worker Garvin Yap was fatally injured, right? Samuda's statement is a slap in the face, according to the Migrant Workers Alliance for Changes. Hearing what Minister Samuda has been saying to the media, we feel betrayed. that the world doesn't make sense. Since our letter came out and got media attention, our bosses have been telling us to keep quiet or else they will shut down the farm or we will all lose our jobs. To hear our own Minister of Labour glorify these bully bosses, these devils, because that's what they are, yo, right? You going up there, you working for the devil, trying to get a better living, and what? You find out that he's the devil, right? He's the devil, right? He's a slap in the face of every farm worker and our families. The statement also made it clear to migrant farm workers that they cannot look to the authorities for help and they must protect themselves, right? Now, let's just get some precepts. Let's get some precepts. This is Isaiah 56 verse 10. His watchmen, right, meaning those who were supposed to watch and protect you, right? For example, your politicians, the labor minister is one. That's what we want to focus on, right? They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, right? Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs which shall never have enough. And they're shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his own gain, for his own quarter. That's all they care about, yo, right? You're finding out now more and more that these men don't care about you, yo. Right? This is Proverbs 31 and verse 9. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. That's the word of the Lord. That's what the Lord said you should do. You should open your mouth and judge righteously. Plead the cause of the poor and needy. But our people, our leaders are doing the exact opposite, yo. Right? Proverbs 29, right? And verse 7, it says, the righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regard it not to know it, yo. Showing you that our people are wicked, yo. Right? That we even surpass the deeds of the wicked, yo. Right? Jeremiah 5 verse 26, for among my people are found wicked men. They lie in wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore are they become great and waxen rich. Yeah, these men have ought to gain, from these farm worker programs, yo. They are gaining from it, yo. Right? They are waxing fat, they shine. Yea, they oppress, they overpass, Salakia, the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy do they not judge. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Yeah. When the Lord makes his return, when that time of Jacob's trouble come, and the Lord makes his return after, right? You people gonna be sorry, yo. You people who have mistreated, and sold our people into slavery and totally disregarded the right of your own people, yo. Sold them into slavery pretty much, yo. Isaiah 1 verse 23, thy princes, your politicians, your leaders, are rebellious and companions of thieves. Right? You hear what the farm worker called the farm owners? Devils, yo. Right? Thieves. Right? Esau, yo. Everyone loveth gifts. That's it right there, yo. They love the gifts, the monetary gain that they're getting from this, yo. And best believe they are getting monetary gain from this, yo. The more workers they can get to migrate to those farms, it's the more compensation them get, yo. That's why he's talking about back in February, to double the amount of workers that he's sending to the program, yo. Right? But through the Spirit of the Lord, these men are being revealed, yo. Everyone loveth gifts and followeth after the word. Afterwards, they judge not the fatherless, neither does the cause of the poor, of the widow, Salakia, come unto them. And this man that just died, he has a family, yo. Right? And more than likely, that family won't even get compensation for him, yo. We're going to wrap here in Micah 3 verse 1. And I said, here I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment? Right? You're supposed to know judgment, judging right from wrong. Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skins from off them and their flesh from off their bones, who eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from them. They break their bones and chop in pieces as for the pot and as the flesh within the cauldron. Then shall they cry unto the Lord, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face, right, from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Hey, when that time come, the time of Jacob's trouble come, hey, you people gonna feel the vengeance of the Lord, yo. Right? Especially you people, yo. Hey, matter of fact, let me get this precept to wrap it up, yo. Because you people that are in authority, yo, you men and women that are in positions of authority, there's a greater judgment coming to you, because you have responsibility for others and not just yourself, yo. Wisdom of Solomon 6, hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works, and search out your counsels. The Lord is seeing these things that you're doing, Kasamuda, yo. And if you don't repent, the Lord is going to destroy you and your families and your cronies, yo. Right? It says, because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the heavenly Father. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that are in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented, yo. For he which is Lord of all shall fear no man's person, neither standing awe of any man's greatness. And you men are not great, yo. Right? Though you think yourself to be. For he hath made the small and great, and cared for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Unto you therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and fall not away. For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy, and they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Right? Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. So you should hear this admonition, yo. But hey, you people not gonna repent, yo. Right? Because the Lord has set it in your heart to be proud, yo. Right? So this is what I wanted to bring. Hopefully it was edifying to the spirit. Shalom.